Okay, Grapple Vegas here with John Gunderson, the newly retired from MMA John Gunderson. Just so people might not know what happened, what made you decide to finally walk away from the sport?
Just I've been in it for so long. After 50 fights, I just decided the money wasn't there, and it was time to move on and try something new.
Was it a hard decision for you to walk away?
Yeah, it really was. I didn't think I would ever retire, but after waking up sore every day and having problems with my neck and my knees and little injuries that just wouldn't go away, I just decided, you know what, it's time to get out.
All right, you've been in the UFC, you've been IFL, the World Series of Fighting. You've been everywhere. Looking back, what was the best organization that you fought for in terms of how they treated you, the excitement level, everything?
Obviously, it'd have to be the UFC. IFL was great. A lot of organizations that I fought for treated me well. Ring of Fire was real good. Superior Cage Combat was another great show that treated me real well. But the UFC was the pinnacle of the sport, and they treated me the best, and whatever they said they were going to do, they did. So that's the show that I would have to say I had the best time with.
You had about 50 pro MMA fights. You've taken on, of course, lower level guys, but you've taken on some high level guys too. Looking back on your career, which opponent that you fought was the most, how do you put it, the most honor for you to fight? Like, wow, I'm fighting this guy.
I would
this
have
is
to
great.
say Yves Edwards was the most honor for me to fight, because I remember one of the very first UFCs that I sat and watched with a group of friends was when Yves fought Josh Thompson, and I was immediately a fan of Yves Edwards then. And to get the phone call to fight him was pretty surreal and exciting that I got to fight someone that I looked up to younger in my career.
Out of all the guys you fought, who surprised you the most, or in terms of the guys that you happened to lose to? Where you're like, whoa, wow, I didn't expect that. Like, this guy was better than I thought.
I really wouldn't say any. I would say maybe Wagner Fabiano. His submissions, the way he threw them on was fast. He was quick, strong. I thought maybe he was the one that really surprised me. The other ones, I wasn't really surprised. I mean, I had some losses where I was injured, sick, and I knew going into the fight the chances of me winning were slim. But at that time, that's all I did for a living, so I had to fight no matter what. So I would say, at least 5 or 6 losses. I know that I could beat the guys I lost to, but it is what it is. No one really surprised me besides Wagner Fabiano, and I take that back. Maybe Dan Lozon surprised me with his size and aggression. His size and aggression. That's one of the only fights that really caught me off guard.
What do you consider as your greatest triumph? Like, looking back, like, that was the best night of my life in terms of winning.
Well, I don't know. I had a few fights where I was just so happy to get the win. I would say the sport fight belt, winning the sport fight title in Portland, Oregon at the Rose Garden was a big accomplishment. Choking out Carl Parisian was another good accomplishment, because I stepped up on 2 weeks' notice and stepped up a weight class. I would say submitting Justin Buckles was a great accomplishment and a great fight. So those 3 were the ones I remember the most. I had a fight in Bend, Oregon, an outdoor show where the Metal Militia jumped over the cage, and I fought in the main event, and I won by knockout. That was a great accomplishment. So there were so many. Even in losses, some of them I thought were good accomplishments.
All right, looking back on your entire career, if you can go back and do it all over again and change some things, would you?
Oh yeah, I definitely would change some things. Earlier in my career, I kind of trained on my own and did my own thing, and just kind of traveled around and looked for training. But if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely stick with one coach and get into some strength training. I didn't really do strength training back then, and I would stay in one place and put all my work into one gym.
All right, post-career, what does John Gunderson do? On a daily basis? What's your routine, and in the future, what are your plans going
Now
forward?
that I'm retired, I'm rich, and so I just hang out on the beach and drink margaritas. No, you know, I run a little gym, and I train people out of the gym, and then I also work at Hoxton nightclub. So, just, you know, trying to stack money and live a good life.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yep, no problem.
All right.